That's in English, someone. Someone is farming, has a dog and neighbors. Someone is preaching, lives in a nearby village and knows the dads, mums, granddads and grannies. Not everyone sees their children, not to mention their grandchildren. If you ever held them on your lap at all, become 11. I can picture them. I am not 11 anymore, although if I want. After being 11, you grow up and you look around and think, what kind of adult I'm going to be. Actually, I have no idea. And that's what this poem is about. Cycling. I had seen them cycling many times before. One tall and straight-backed, the other shorter, broader. When one day somebody said that people said they were lesbians, and I thought I should look up what that is. It didn't seem so bad if you could go out cycling as often as that. This is the last poem, and I'll read it in Frisian first and then in English. And it's about a summer evening in Friesland. A quiet summer evening. Jong. We zitten op een batte bij boervrouw achterhoes. Uw spranettels bloeien bij hatrog het stek. Likwols krijg ik koffie en wat erbij. Orenkant sleert, gapje skier bijzongen, klinkt slag van een kliester. Diskant piep uit het kat mijn moes, trog het kroos, koe, eine piek en ein voorbij. Jettere huizen, heel oors als dit. Maar wij jonger en grutter door je dreven. Meer mensen leven nog, maar ik minder. Want in deze dagen op je schiem en bootje wienen er nog niet. De lucht kleurt het reed als de rosé die boervrouw iskent. Proost op een meisje en huizen van doe. Proost op die van nou. Net volle meer te wezen beleven net. We kunnen dit ons amper naikomen onderhouden. Slagen als die van opkomende tonger net een keren. Proost op die toesappelen hier, deze huizen hiemen, wolkje us wudden, uit de sleet waar kroept de damp in us kleden. I'll read this in English as well. I forgot it was in the booklet, so you couldn't read it with. I also forgot to mention that I told you that we had a voice recording of Adrian, which is now played at a literary poetry evening in Leeuwarden, Friesland. But I forgot to say that there's also a voice recording of, you are Claudia Goetze, are you? Yeah, there's also a voice recording of Claudia Goetze, now played in Leeuwarden. So she's all over also. And we hope to have them live in Leeuwarden with the other Maltese poets one day. We're gonna work on it. Evening. We sit on the levee behind neighbor's house. Our nettles flower through her fence, but still she gives us coffee and a treat. Across the ditch, sheep peer at us. The cadenced call of a blackbird on this side. Cat plays with mouse. Ducklings and mother duck glide through the weeds, past houses so different to this one. But we were younger then, and our dreams bigger. More people still alive, but also fewer, for those romping in our yards nowadays weren't around yet. The sky turns red like neighbors' rosé. Cheers, we say, to the people and houses from back then. Cheers to today's. Can't ask for much more. God knows we've our hands full already. The upkeep, maintenance, boom like from an approaching storm, no holding it back. Cheers to those who years from now tenant these houses, farmsteads, our words, cloudlets, damp creeping up from the ditch into our clothes. Thank you.
So the next poet who's going to read for you is Rita Saliba, and of course we also only met, well, in our case on the airport. She picked us up on the airport, well, Rita is a novelist, as most of you perhaps know. She's going to read some poems, and I guess you do the short story again. Yes. We were also at a school in Randy. We were all the others were there, but we together we were in one class doing a little workshop. It was very fun to do, very much fun to do. The children made a few, all the groups made, each group made one poem, and it was even recited a quarter of an hour later. And hopefully these poems will also arrive one day in Friesland. It was really very much fun to do. So, Rita.
Thank you. It's called Dora Torella, translated by Claudia Gaucho. She is also a poet, and it's on page 15. It's like a reading the roses in summer. Dora Torella sajf. Meta tibda l-ħarifa u jkollna ftit tal-frisk, il-bidwi jaħdem l-għalqa u jitlob għal ftit rizq. Imżon jaħrab bil-rombru, il-ħamrija jġibha l-adba biex ħadd ma jidħol fl-għalqa, jalaq sewwa x-xadba. Biex ikollu frotta tajba jferrix il-fertilizzant u jekk ma tagħmel xita jkollu jsaqqi xi kultant. Biex jitlab tibda timmet il-weraq aħdar skur, dritta u b'saħħitha bil-patata tajba żgur. The next one is seed. When I was a child, I went off with my grandfather to his fields, and as he sowed the potato seed, he didn't use machinery. He used to tread on it with his heel so gently, and I used to love to watch him sow seeds, and it was like a special relationship. All quiet, he never talked to me when doing his work, so it's seed. As I trod, my heel sank in the dust. I laid it down softly and let it be. It could feel my guiding gaze. My thoughts were with it in the heat and winds that burned the crops upon this rock. It waited for me, yearning that I quench its bed until it blooms again. Now, my heel is useless. Machines work better. They sow 1,000 mothers and produce 30 children. Here, I stay on guard, renewing sleepless nights of true lovers. Translated by Claudia Gaucho. in fact, all the work was translated by her. The port. Also, my childhood, my favorite dish was minestra, my mother's minestra, but my grandmother tastes it even better. It's vegetables from my grandfather's garden or field, which were also organically grown. And together with the vegetables, they used even butter beans and lentils, so it was a mixture of minerals with proteins, a whole meal, they used to tell us. And even the butter beans were soaked overnight, so to soften them, they were put in the pot the first, and then it was important that the pumpkin pieces were put last so that they won't be overcooked. But unfortunately, nowadays it's too time consuming and minestra's dying out. The pot. She let the pieces fall between her fingers, cracked with wrinkles, writing other people's stories. The deep lines in her skin marked the waiting of sun-soaked days, lying on the cracked earth, yearning for some rain, of others flooded with destructive storms. While she caressed the fruit that soaked when extracted from the earth, she moaned and felt distressed as the pot of broth became already a thing of the past. And I'm finishing with a very short story. I also had an imaginary friend, and sometimes I wonder where she is now. Bread for the Angels. The courtyard of my grandmother's house would transform itself into a forest of ferns and big deep parlor palms that concealed me from ferocious beasts. I would talk to her all the time. Nobody would see her, only I could. I told my grandmother about her, then she would bring me 2 slices of bread, one for me and one for Amy. But I would insist that Amy was never hungry. Give it to the angel, she used to tell me. Leave some for the angel in the flower pot. And while you eat, do not look otherwise, he won't come. But Amy wanted us to keep guard, and while we hid among the humid flower pots, we looked until the hungry birds came, ate the bread, and flew away again. The angel did not come because of us. Today, I live in my grandfather's house. My children have all left and have their own. I don't see them much, as they are all busy. Amy had left when I stopped playing among the flower pots. This house is too big for me to clean, and the windows have hardened. I don't have much appetite. I prepare a sandwich for lunch, some for me and some for the birds. I remember the bread my grandmother used to make me for the angel. Is he still waiting for some? I wonder. I feel breathless. My hands ache as I cut the bread. I leave a piece in the flower pot, and I sit in the armchair. I won't look into the courtyard. The angel might not come. Thank you.
All this talk of potatoes is making me hungry. We're not over yet, but soon. And it's also making me feel a bit strange because on the one hand I'm feeling wanderlust because Hein Yap's, at the end of his poem Light is the Air, the last stanza, when I read it yesterday I felt as if I was walking. And speaking about walking on the dike and seeing a sea of land on one side because the fields are so flat, and a land of sea on the other side because when the tide is low, the mud flats are like a new land. Then I would really like to go to Friesland and walk there. So on the one hand, these poems are giving me wanderlust and at the same time nostalgia. Particularly your poem about being 11, because when I was, I don't know, maybe 9 or 10, I remember being in the garage with my grandparents in Granby, very close to where you were yesterday, just opposite the school library, right? Peeling potatoes. No, not peeling potatoes. We were cutting potatoes to separate the seedling, the nebbieta, the mama, right? Because that is what we would plant. We would fill sacks, myself and my 2 young brothers, and then we would go with my nannu in a blue van to the field and sow these potatoes. And then months later, myself and my brothers, we would pick them up and we'd challenge each other to see who could gather most potatoes and fill their sack more quickly. I didn't win those competitions because I was absent-minded. But it was fun and it's nice to remember. Thanks for that. So 3 more poems. As I said at the beginning, last year 7 Maltese poems were sent with the full-grown potatoes to Friesland, and 3 of those poets are here. So I'm going to invite Claudia Gauci first of all to read her poem, and then Mario, and then I'd like to read. And then I would like to read a translation of Seamus Healy's poem about peeling potatoes in Maltese, and then we'll have some music, and then we can go and find some fries or chips or baked potatoes. Claudia.
For this project, I don't know, I thought about a field of potatoes lying very still after the war devastation. I don't know, my mind just drifted off. So I would, it's not long, so I will write it in Maltese and then in English. Fl-għaxija. Milwija iggrunċjata, eċielen ta' toqob, imsakkar fihom bil-misteru ta' meta tħares lejn ix-xemx bil-lejl. Lixxa bil-nemex ċara, imperċa ftit tal-beraħ, ħadd il-maħfarka ikħal mill-baħar minn fuq. Tipprova tibilgħu ħadd isbieħ naqra oħra, taħseb. Fil-ħerba mbenġla miskiet ma titħarbax. U dik l-għalqa xieħa, wiċċa mtebba b'kull xorta tal-aqx u għazzar, u ħsejjes strambi, u demm taħsbu ħamrija. Tisponta l-barra ftit, bajda, tranquilla, hemm sieq, qed toqrob biex jiġu jiġbruha. Jitfnuha suret in-nies, dawk li xi darba bkewla biex ma tmurx. Ma jiġi ħadd, u l-muffa tila minn taħt għal-demoni. Żewġ safar jinżlu jistrieħu fuq is-seba' l-kbir u qegħdin jinnamraw. In an old field, crouched, bent, studded with holes that carry the mystery of looking at the sun at night. Smooth, pale, freckled, it stretches out into vastness, catching up a glimpse of the blue swimming above it. Gulping it, thinking it would feel better. In the devastation, it does not falter. In that old field, its crops scarred with shrapnel and lead and strange noises. And blood. It looks like soil. Budding out a little from the earth, white, tranquil, a foot moaning for someone to pick it up and bury it properly by those who once begged it not to leave. No one came. And mold is creeping from below like a demon. 2 birds are flying by. They are now perched on the big toe, and they mate.
We have a co-op and we put very frequent ads on our Facebook page about our green grocery. And at one point, I think I mentioned potatoes in the ad, and somebody said, "Oh, you remind me of this painting by Van Gogh, the Potato Eaters," and we posted it on our Facebook page actually, and how I came to know about Bangkok's potato eaters actually. So when Adrian asked me to join this project, I thought of it immediately, and that's how the poem came about. So I don't have the English translation, but what really inspired me is not only the aura, the atmosphere of the painting, but also the way Van Gogh kind of created a three-dimensional thing out of his paintings. So I just imagine those flakes of paintings, kind of bits of potato, kind of. So it's the potato eaters, Van Gogh. Għaxxar patata wara patata u rfajt kollox f'borma. U bil-kalma xbart il-qxur, bihom ħloq ġbira ta' wiċċek fuq injama griża. Tfajt ħsiebi kollu fi xbietek. Tlajt u nżilt u tlajt ma' kull biċċa qoxra mwaħla mat-tavla. Blajt ir-riħa dardar ta' moffa li ħarġet minn xi qxur. Irdajt il-ħlewwa li qatret minn oħrajn li ffermentaw. U sirt tifel imqareb, belani, bikkej, mexxur. U f'mument il-qxur inqalgħu kollha minn malowda, id-dera ta' wiċċek qiegħbet mal-qxur tal-patata li reġgħu waqgħu fil-ħamrija li nibtu u xettlu u tkattru. U l-patata reġgħet inqelet minn ħamrija b'idejn ħaxa. U kont miklub biex nerġa' nqaxxar. Missa ma rridx iktar ġbijat. Irrid biss lilek.
Part of the Poetry in Potato Bags project involves workshops in schools, including summer schools, and Rita, Saliba, and Emmanuel Kassa gave workshops in Centro Daura Durella in Aula last year. Emmanuel is here, and he will also be reading his potato poem.
My poem is a description of a family that live on potatoes. They make money from potatoes. And obviously, in this poem they are around the table, and this poem gives a description of each one of them. Some of them, their minds, they are there. Some of them, their minds are elsewhere. Il-patata qiegħda f'ħajjithom. Il-patata qiegħda f'ħajjithom. Joħlom bija t-tifel il-kbir. Bija u bit-takkuna. Li żgħir taġ kemm toġbu kif issajjar ommu jaħdem għall-missier bidwi part-time falqa bil-girna. Fuq il-mejda l-om taqleb fil-platti. Il-missier jiservi u jirrakkonta. Il-kbir siket. Iż-żgħir irid aktar patata. In-nanna tgħidlu biex jieħu ftit għal ġajbati bid-diabete. Il-patata taġevolhom xi ftit. L-om bieħħa lil wieħed tal-ħaxix. Il-kbir ġieli jgħin lill-missieru. Kien ara takkuna fil-girna u baqa' jewdem fuqha. Tagħmel parti minn ħajjithom il-patata. Minna jieħdu l-benefiċċji bija jidewbu. Thank you.
So before we have some music, I'd just like to make two apologies. The first apology is from myself for my technical incompetence. I'm sorry. And I'd also like to apologize on behalf of Michael Caruana, a potato farmer in Redney, a very intelligent and hardworking man who we met yesterday in Redney. He couldn't make it today, he couldn't finish work early enough, but he said he apologizes for not turning up. He was going to talk for a few minutes about his experience as a potato farmer, what the potato means to him and so on. But he asks us to pray for rain, because there's not enough rain. And it's a very bad season, and in fact he has spent all week watering his potato fields. I think it was a very tough week. So a couple of months ago, nothing to do with this project, I translated a poem by Seamus Heaney, which in English is called When All the Others Were Away at Mass. I did this simply to practice translation into Maltese of poetry and to practice particularly the hendecasyllable. The original English poem by Heaney, it's not in any regular form, but it looks like it. It's not iambic pentameter, but when you see it on the page, it looks regular. And so I decided to try it out in Maltese hendecasyllables. So the title in Maltese would be Waqt li l-oħrajn kienu kollha l-quddiesa. Waqt li l-oħrajn kienu kollha l-quddiesa b'ajtem kolni tagħha inqaxxu l-patata. Waħda waħda kisru s-skieb. Waħda waħda waqgħu kif jibki jistan minn mal-ħadid. Boċoċ żgħar ta' wenz bejnietna. Aħna u naqsmu affarijiet ileqqu f'barmilna. U taqa' boċċ oħra. ċafli sabiħ mix-xogħol ta' xulxin iġibna f'sensina. Imbagħad bil-kappillan ma' ġenb soddità jitlob kemm jiflaħ it-talb tal-agonija u min ikompli mieru u min jolfoqha. Ftakart f'rasa mmejla kemm lejn rasi. Nifs ġo nifs f'idejna x-xfafar qaddifa qatt eqreb qatt fil-bqija tagħha jiedna. So I'd like to invite Heini up to play some music, and after that you're free to go and look for potatoes baked. Thanks very much.
And after that I will do another song. I don't know, you heard it yesterday. I To me, it was a bit better than yesterday, but you know, it's no importance. Yeah. Thank you. You make my day. I will dedicate this, more or less, this to David. You know, I already forget the well, David. I dedicate this song to you, and not only to David, but in fact, I think I should dedicate this song to all Maltese men. But this song is about a man who is not talking much. A man who, in my yeah. This is Frisian humor, the understatement, like the English humor, the understatement. You like to exaggerate, yes. That's what you told me yesterday. We had a very nice talk. You like to exaggerate, we like to underestimate. In fact, the Frisian humor is more like underestimation. So this song, and now we come to I talked with Adrian a lot about this. It's very strange, and still you grab some of it. Now I'm going to do a song in my language again, and you will not understand one single word of it. So you have it. But it comes down to sound, in fact. So that's why I want to do this song, because I will give you some sound, Frisian sound, but also with some content. And this content is the refrain, and the chorus. It goes like this: I ja, ik me zeggen, sik me zeggen. You know, I have another difficulty because I really don't know how to translate this. This man of few words, who's not talking much, at the end of his life, he says, I ja, ik me zeggen. Well, Joop understands a little bit. It's like, what can I say? Something like that. That's what he ends up with. And that's all he can say still at the end of his life. Well, what can I say? And I'm not talking, I don't think I'm talking about David. And for that matter, I don't think I'm talking about any Maltese man, because you know how to talk. But this is more perhaps the Frisian man, who is a bit more like, whoa, let's see tomorrow what happens, and can be good weather, can be bad weather, and well, anyway. De man van Iowa, de man van Valletta. Er was een man bij ons in het dorp, een man van Valletta, met een stickers wat houdt het op. En dat was wat wij hoorden. Hij zei, jongen, ja, ik maar zeggen, sik maar zeggen. Jongen, ja, ik ben een man van mooie woorden. Soms zou ik een zin, en wat ik wat meer zeggen, maar meer zat er niet in. Hij kon niet meer zeggen, dus een man was niet steun. Hij had een prachtig leven, alleen het praten was hij beu. Een paar woorden bleven, hij zei, jongen, ja, ik maar zeggen, sik maar zeggen. Jongen, ja, ik ben een man van mooie woorden. Op een dag zat ik te mij, vroeger kon ik als dijk praten, maar het leven was anders met mij. En ik kon het beter laten, dat praten dat doe ik niet. Dat lag aan anderen over, dan kan ik ook klagen niet. En het domme praten is over, ik zeg, jongen, ja, wist al niet weer als eerst. Wist al niet weer praten. Hij zou wacht maar tot al het leven leest. Dan wist het wel later. Hij wist, de man had gelijk. Ik moet het hem nazeggen. Mijn leven is kregelijk. Ik kan niet anders zeggen. Als hij, jongen, ja, jongen, ja, jongen, ja. Ik maar zeggen, ik maar zeggen. Ah, jongen, ja, jongen, ja, jongen, ja. Ik ben een man van mooie woorden. Ik zeg, ah, jongen, ja, jongen, ja, jongen, ja. Ik maar zeggen, ik maar zeggen. Ah, jongen, ja, jongen, ja, jongen, ja. Ik ben een man van mooie woorden.
On behalf of Initiamed, I'd like to thank the Embassy of the Netherlands to Malta for making these 3 days possible. Thank you very much, Ambassador. And on behalf of Initiamed and all of us here, I'd like to thank the Frisian delegation for their visit and for sharing their potato poems and more, much more, with us. Thanks to all of you for coming.
My name is Jelle Burggraaf and I'm here on behalf of the Foundation Leeuwarden Friesland 2018, the European Capital of Culture of the Netherlands. I can say that we are extremely happy to have Valletta, Malta, as a partner in 2018. I also said it yesterday, not only because of the weather, although it's very nice to be here in January with already 20 degrees. Also the very ancient history of the country and the city itself, and also the very interesting link there is between the two languages, make it a very interesting cooperation. The Potatoes Go Well project is only one project we cooperate in. We also work on a project called Behind the Front Door, in which we invite children that grow up in underprivileged districts in our city and in the city of Valletta, the Boma region, to actually film their lives with their with their mobile phones, to actually show the outside world what it means for them to grow up in an underprivileged district. And we feel that's very important. Leeuwarden itself is one of the poorest districts of the Netherlands in which children grow up in. There's a lot of very negative attention from the national media for these areas, whereas children themselves can have a completely different view on their lives. And we think it's very important that these children get the opportunity to also give their view of what it is like to grow up in a European capital of culture, and also to give them the opportunity to join this cultural event and maybe even arrange an exchange for them as well, because it's not only about poets to meet each other, but also about children who normally do not get the opportunity to travel a lot. We also feel that's a big responsibility for both our cities. Another very interesting project is in which we cooperate is a visual arts discipline. Last year, 2 curators from our region went to Malta to curate an exhibition here on healthy aging, which was very interesting as well. We could not have done this tonight, and also not could have worked together with the other projects without the help of the people from Valletta 2018. And also the Embassy of the Netherlands plays a very important role in this. From the beginning on, they have been very supportive in making the cooperation between Leeuwarden and Valletta possible, and we're very happy because of that. And it's only 2016, we have 2 more years to go, and we hope that until 2018, but also after that, we will have many more of these very interesting days and many more exchanges. And I would like to thank you all for being here tonight, and I hope to see you again in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. challenging to have to conclude this meeting and also let's say to sum up these past 3 days. We had 4 poets and in different surroundings with the mayor of Renby and with a lot of you. And every day, every evening and morning in school has been quite different and I think very enriching. So definitely not going to give long speeches. I think there's absolutely no need for that anymore. But what I want to give you at the end of this cycle is maybe a little bit theoretical about poetry. First of all, we are cooperating very closely all in the Netherlands. And we have this by divine providence, I think, the fact that Valletta and Leeuwarden will be the 2 capitals of culture in 2018. So we have a lot of cultural activities going on, and when I arrived here last summer, a lot of it was already on track. A lot of you have been working on it for some time. But this project was already there. I met Fraukje, who was mentioned, who took the initiative of this beautiful project of poetry, combining poetry and with potato bags, this long tradition. I thought this is a gem, this is something very, very special. This is so, who can invent this? This is unique in the world. So together with Fraukje, I remember we have to try to get people from Friesland here and to exchange, to listen to each other's poetry. But then I realized, and that's a theoretic thing I wanted to give to all of you for tonight, it's quite impossible to share poetry between different language groups. Poetry is one of the art forms which is most directly closed within your language circle. It's yours as the group who speaks a language, only they share the richness of its poetry, and translating poetry kind of kills it or kind of changes it and makes it into something else, much more not as mystical, talking about the experiences we had in Renby and it changes it, so it's quite impossible. And then I think, but then again, of course, it is possible, and we saw it the past few days. It's great to translate poetry and to try to share, and then to know the meaning and listen to the sounds and try to imagine how it must feel for Maltese to hear this. If you try, that's really special, and to try to experiment with that in all directions. It's beautiful, but still, the feeling remains that it's not the real thing. It's not your language. So I think it's fascinating, and for me it symbolizes also the way as European member states you cooperate. You want to share things. You want to work together to build one Europe. But then again, every time you do that, you realize that you also want to stay the one you are, because it's your identity. You don't want to be part of this big anonymous unity. You want to be proud of your own identity and maintain it and bring it to a higher level even. So that's why for me these past 3 days have really been very enriching and symbolize that it's unity in diversity, maybe attachment to your own identity, which we should never forget. And, I want to thank you all for that, and look forward to future events and cooperation into 2018 already. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jelle. Thank you, Ambassador. You mentioned divine providence, and this week we had some good weather for our guests, for our walk yesterday. But yes, so first of all, we wish you a very safe and Send us there. Send them in sacks. No, we have enough